Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. My friends, on today's conversation, I'm honored to have Mayor Phillip Jones. He is the 27th mayor of the city of Newport News, Virginia. All around just awesome dude. I would say a fan favorite to folks around the Hampton Roads area. He is the youngest directly elected mayor for the city of Newport News at the young age of 35. Isn't it rare here in a 35-year-old as an elected official? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go too far on that. But I've met him a few times, man. Just humble guy, very, very chill. And it's interesting. In my rookie years of building relationships with elected officials on a local, state, federal level, I was always that nervous guy because it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm, you have that like celebrity encounter, right? Because I'm very fascinated when it comes to politics, but also you're like, maybe you would rather me, call him or email him. No, he's like, hey, what's going on, man? I'm like, whoa, this guy's like, he's like us. He's relatable. He's, I feel like that's what, in my opinion, is what's missing, from one, conversation, and two, just that trustworthy, that relationship, that great approach when it comes to politics. We live in a society right now where, look, let's be honest, we all can be a bit impatient, and we have the right to be, but we're so like, this and that and the other, and we yet to have that like excitement and that great, interaction with our local officials. So again, I can't speak any thing negative about Mayor Jones. As I mentioned before, I've had great times having the moments to speak with him, and I want to shout out my dear friend Tiffany Boyle, who's the Commissioner of Revenue for the city of Newport News. So I always tease her because I am a Chesapeake native, born and raised, right? I'm what they say, I'm on the other side of the water. When Tiffany has a function, I'm like, look, Newport News. I'm like, God dang it, let me check the airlines, because it's a little hump for me. It's a little distance. So I'm like, let me check the flights. But no, in general though, Newport News is a great city. It's a thriving, continues to thrive every single time, especially under the leadership of Mayor Phillip Jones. So I'll mention a little bit about the great things happening in Newport News, and of course we're going to be honored to have a great conversation with the mayor later on in the program. But before I move forward, as always, fam, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. That's right. I want to thank you all that are watching us right now on YouTube, our YouTube channel, the Arrington Gavin Show. Do me a favor, please like and subscribe, share all that great stuff. Also, those who happen to watch us on Rumble, or you probably streaming us right now on Goatverse TV. That's right, Goatverse TV is an amazing independent streaming channel that you can do me a favor, if you haven't downloaded yet, you can do so today. Download it on the App Store, Google Play Store, on Roku, or Amazon Fire. It's an amazing app filled with so many great programs, including yours truly. So do me a favor, follow. Also, my friends, do me a favor, follow us on our social media platforms. Instagram, Blue Sky, X, formerly known as Twitter. I always got to say formerly known as Twitter. Even it's been so long since the name changed, but folks have been like, X, I don't know. What is that? It's Twitter. It's Twitter. All right. You can check us out on Twitter, and you can also subscribe to our Substack page. So again, having an hour-long show, the conversations get good, and I won't have the time to talk on a certain discussion, so I'll extend it to our Substack page. And I have an opinion for everything, so it's a way of like, it's like my open diary, and I just share it on our Substack. So yeah, Substack, X, Blue Sky, as well as Instagram. Also, you can listen to this show wherever you get your podcast, whether that's iHeart, Odyssey, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Also, you can listen to us on the radio airwaves. Shout out to our listeners in New Orleans by way of WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights, Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Also, shout out to our listeners in the Metro Atlanta area by way of WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the program weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to the Arrington Gavin Show. So thank you. All right, my friends, before we head to a commercial break, I do want to let's see what I want to do here. Our tradition here on the show, we love to always toss out a fun fact. Either a fun fact or our segment, the Black Excellence Report. But today we're going to do a fun fact just to give you a little bit of history of the city of Newport News. So Newport News is the home to the largest shipbuilding company in the United States, Newport News Shipbuilding, which is the only shipyard in the country that builds nuclear-powered aircraft carriers for the U.S. Navy. It's also one of only two that builds nuclear submarines. So again, that makes the city a critical hub for national defense and naval engineering. Again, great history about the city of Newport News. So, all right, my friends, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Please don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. We are back after these commercial breaks.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GoVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, family, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Welcome back, welcome back. So before I bring on our special guest, let me just go ahead and again speak on some of his accomplishments under still his first term as mayor for the city of Newport News. So under his administration, Newport News was awarded the All America City designation for the first time, highlighting the city's progress and dedication to communities engagement and improvement. Now, not only is he a person who serves his community and his people in the city of Newport News, but he also serves our country in the U.S. Marines. And so, again, without further ado, I'm so honored to have on our special guest, Mayor Phillip Jones. Mr. Mayor, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, brother. Thanks so much for the invitation to come on the show. It's been a long time coming, and looking forward to talking about all the good things we got going on, at least in the city of Newport News.
Absolutely. No, I'm just as excited as you are, brother. I'm probably even more excited. I've been sharing I'm like, look, I got Mayor Jones on. Can't talk right now. I was like, you want to go? I can't talk right now. I got Mayor Jones. Truly, I'm a big fan of you. I think for one, just because it's great representation, not just for for the community, but also for young people, right? It's great seeing somebody of a youth that is so passionate, driven, doing so much great stuff for the city of Newport News. Well, I want to start off by asking Mr. Mayor, what first led you to serving in this capacity? Now, I've mentioned that you also serve our country too, which thank you for your service, but you've also are serving on another level as an elected official. So what led you to that route?
It's an interesting question. So people always ask me, why did I come back to Newport News, the city that I grew up in, my parents still live in, etc. And honestly, in my mind, serving in the military and then serving as the mayor, it's the same thing. It's the natural extension of servant leadership. And that's how I view the role of mayor. I'm not above you, I'm not below you, I'm always beside you, right? I'm always there to advocate for the people of my city. And it's the best job I ever had in my life.
Wow. So to say that, was there and I asked this to a lot of our guests who are, either former elected officials or current elected officials, was there a need? Was there something that caught your attention that said, I think I know I'm the person for the job. I can never imagine, like, I'm always like saying, I would love to be a fly on the wall for somebody to say, hey, so I've been thinking, instead of picking up a new hobby, how about I run for mayor for the city? Like, I mean, how does what came about for you?
What they say in politics is it's all about timing. And so I've always wanted to come back in some capacity. I honestly thought that I was going to come back and start a black bank or a CDFI. It's a need we have in Hampton Roads. Most African Americans across the country are underbanked, and in Hampton Roads, I think the majority of the black banks either consolidated or mergers and acquisitions. So I was coming back to Hampton Roads in some capacity. It just happened that my first year of grad school, I did a 3-year program. So year one, Mayor Price, who was the former mayor, had been mayor for 11 or 12 years. He basically put out into the atmosphere that he was not going to run for his 4th term. And as everyone who's in the business knows, the best time to run for office is for an open seat. There's no incumbent, open field. That's the highest probability that you're going to have. And so that's what I decided to do. I was probably maybe 2 or 3 years, perhaps too young, is what a lot of people said. But, I think across the country, you have this next generation stepping up. I was actually 32 when I ran for office.
Wow.
I was 33 when I won, and it's been 2.5 years. So I'll be up for re-election again next year. So it's almost been a full 4 years, and just so proud of the work that we've been able to do in the city.
Wow. How has this journey so far? And I know you mentioned, you're so proud of what has been done, but how has the journey been just as being the leader for the city of Newport News? As I mentioned before, it houses the largest naval base in the United States. So pretty, that's a huge honor right there. Out of the 50 states here, that has the largest, but also it's a growing city, in my opinion. I mean, I always say every city has, but I'm really been catching up on Newport News, and it's like, wow, this just is little things by little things that's just it builds, and after that addition of, say, that new project, it builds so much great credibility where it's like other cities in the seven cities are kind of following for what Newport News. I mean, I can say for Chesapeake, I know, even though I'm not an elected official, but I'm pretty sure the city of Chesapeake is like saying, okay, like we gotta do what Newport News. Like, how has the journey been for you?
It's been humbling. My wife always reminds me, she's like, it's not about the destination, it's the journey, right? And when I look back, this journey has been 2.5 years as mayor, but really 2 years of planning. So it's almost been a 4 or 5 year journey. I'm so honored and blessed that I get to be the mayor of this great city every single day. I ran because I believed that the city was at an inflection point. I thought that we could do so much. We're the 5th largest city in in Virginia. We've been sort of stagnant, a little bit flat when it comes to population, heavy military, heavy retirees. I just thought that we needed a team, not a person, but a team that could truly put our city on the map. I think we have that team now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, now we shared about the good stuff. Now, obviously, being an elected official, it has some cons. It has some tough jobs because
you're telling me.
No, what? Never. But it's very, very tough, especially in this moment. For one, I feel as though the voting turnout is always going to be a struggle, but I feel like there's always I always say, okay, what led to this issue, right? What led to voting turnout? We live in a time right now where the trust value is at an all-time low. It's really hard to trust as far as for voters to have faith in their elected, say their city and state officials, federal official. I mean, it's just the trust is not there. We're in a moment where folks are losing jobs unexpected, right? We're living in a time where folks can't afford basic necessities for their household. How do you, as a leader, speak to your constituents in a form of like, look, I hear you. This is what we're doing. Like, how do you maneuver? Because it can be very stressful and a lot of pressure, especially as a mayor of a city in general.
Mm-hmm. I just try to meet every individual where they are, and that may sound like political talk, but at the end of the day, it's about advocating and representing all of your constituents, including the ones that did not vote for you. I think that sometimes in this political discourse, it's very easy to just rile up your base. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If you just rile up your base, you're going to be an echo chamber. And I'm biased, but I've always said that mayor is, I think, the best job in America because you are at where rubber meets the road, right? You are a policymaker, but you're also the executive. And so it's a very unique and nuanced position. But it doesn't matter if I go to the gym every morning or the church or Whole Foods or Food Lion. I get stopped all the time to ask about, what about the schools? What about this pothole? Very recent, like a few weeks ago, I sent out a few thousand letters to people who made the A and B honor roll in the city, and I got calls about like, hey, my kid got a 2.99. Can he get a letter from the mayor? So like it goes across the entire gamut of things, but you are the face of the city, and people come to you to solve their problems. So if we can meet them where they are, that's the first step. And I would encourage everyone. Doesn't matter if you're elected, non-elected, community leader. Everyone has a role and responsibility to play.
No, I think I totally agree with that, because recently I had on a gentleman, Mr. Hendro Remus. He is a former Democratic chair for the state of Tennessee, and he had said that right now what we're seeing just in general, and he spoke mainly as somebody that used to lead on the Democratic side, and I'll speak a little more of just the kind of the issues bipartisan with you a little later on, but he had just said, I think folks are not feeling it's not relatable. Like, where you're telling us stuff, but it's like it's not as relatable. So saying, what you had just said, meeting them where they are, I think that's extremely important, because for one, they want to be seen. They feel ignored. And to add on what you were saying, totally agree with that point. In the Hampton Roads area, we have a lot of federal workers. We have loads of federal workers, and what's going on in Washington, we're seeing a lot of government government job cuts, lack of federal funding. Has what's going on in Washington of the, what has been brought from them, is it showing a huge effect in the city of Newport News? Have you been seeing, the effects of that in your city?
Yeah, 1,000%. I think anytime there is what I'll call chaos at the federal level, it puts more and more of a burden on the local level. And so I can speak to the individuals that are getting laid off at NASA Langley. And also for the viewers, it's more than just the military and federal workers. For every federal worker job, I forget the ratio, but we'll say there's almost a 1-to-2 or 1-to-1 ratio. So it's more than just it's federal workers, it's the contractors, it's the entire economic impact. That entire, ecosystem is going to be disrupted. And so we're very, very mindful of it. In fact, we were going to lower the tax rate this year, but we actually had to keep it the same because there was just so much unknown when it comes to our federal grants. So that's roads, infrastructure, bridges, environmental justice grants. A lot has been either clawed back by the federal government or has been frozen. So that level of turbulence, as a Marine, as a nautical individual, that turbulence rocks the boat, makes it for a rough time for everyone in the city.
Wow. I want to ask, has your city, what the role, should mayors play in holding federal leadership accountable? Do you believe in that, in that question, as far as, hey, look, this is what's going on in Washington. This is a huge impact in my city. I think, do you agree with that question?
I do. I don't want to put a percent, but I would say 25 to 30% of my job is to advocate for my city at the federal and at the state level. So I'm in DC quite frequently, advocating to not only our Virginia House Representatives, the entire congressional delegation, but also Senator Warner, Senator Kaine, but also the White House. I went to the White House maybe 3 months ago to talk to the Office of Shipbuilding about what can we do to encourage commercial and military shipbuilding here in Newport News. If you ask me, Mayor Jones, what is the one thing you want to get done? I want in the next 4 years, I want Newport News to be the center of excellence for all things shipbuilding, commercial and military in the entire country.
Wow. I mean, folks, you see why I'm such a huge fan of this guy. I'm just saying. So I'm listening, but I'm also focused on yeah. Okay. Next question. Where's my next question? What's the next question?
I love it.
So again, I go back to, and forgive me if I'm sticking on one topic, because I think it's such a big deal, because that's the number one thing that a lot of folks are talking about is affordability, housing affordability, the job cuts. The other day, a close family friend had said, look, they ended our program here in Washington. I am looking for a job at this point. And it's just it sucks, because what do you say? What do you want me to say? I mean, it's just truly sad. Is there any programs that the city is saying, okay, look, if this is a cut here, how can we still meet this goal or focus on the mission that we have done from this previous, say, program, and tell folks, hey, look, it's okay. We have another source of that can be somewhat beneficial. Has that come across your table within the city since the new administration in Washington?
It has. So it's really a bifurcation of effort. So number one, it's how can we encourage people that have lost their employment to come take city jobs? We always have a backlog of open positions, mostly in maintenance or in public works, engineering, etc. So that's number one. And I would say number two is I've seen it a lot in the nonprofits. A lot of their funding is being cut. So the question that it's on, not just on my mind, but the entirety of city council is, at what level does local government step in and help nonprofits? We can't help everyone, right? But I do think there is some sort of moral obligation to help our nonprofits, because they take care of the underserved, or in the good book, they say the least of these, right? So just trying to help our nonprofits through this, troubling time.
So I want to digress from that convo, and I want to move it on to a very relatable convo that I speak a lot with some of my friends, family, and just folks I just build relationships with. The lack of voting turnout from young people.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think that that's a thing? Why do you think, young people truly don't, I don't, it's not relatable to me, so why should I, right? I've went for the first time, I think last election cycle, I went door knocking. I was shout out to Councilman Les Smith, representing the city of Chesapeake. I was door knocking, and it was a one and done for me because it was hot. It wasn't as hot as today, but I was like, how many houses? You said, oh, it's about 100 houses in this neighborhood. I'm like, how many? He said, no, you get 50, I get 50. I'm like, okay. So, but it was a great experience for me because I got to interact with people from all different voting perspectives, all different sides of the aisle, age groups. And it was, when I came across a majority of the young people, they're like, I don't really follow politics. So I'm choosing not to, I'm just not going to vote. And I'm just like, do you own this house? Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a taxpayer. Like, it for me, it's like, come on, you have to. It's your job. But like, why do you think it's so foreign for young people to get involved? As far as just by going out to vote, early voting, and even just voting during general elections. Why do you think this is so foreign for young people?
To be honest, I think that's the way the system is designed. When I was just getting into politics, someone told me the most important thing, the loudest voices, they call it the silver streak. Like, individuals that are over the age of 60 are going to vote, right? They're going to vote. And so you actually, if you look at the AARP or other sort of senior lobbying organizations, everyone knows if you're over 60, you're going to vote, right? If you're a homeowner, you're probably going to vote. And so I think for a long time, people that don't own property, people that are marginalized, people that are just, not interested, they have ceded that responsibility of voting. And so what I've always said is, my dad said, you deserve who you elect, right? And whether or not you follow politics follows you, right? And what I would say is the lower you are. So I've always said, I think the hardest job in politics is the school board, right? It has the most important thing, our children, our future, we have to invest in them. That's a very difficult job. Your school board and your city council have much more of an impact on your day-to-day life than the president of the United States, right? Minus like war and tariffs and other things. Like, who you elect on school board? We had a primary election in Virginia, 48 hours ago? I think the voter turnout was like under 12 or 13%. And I think in Newport News, under 8%. So 8% of voters came out and made their voice heard for a Newport News to who's going to be the top prosecutor, top lawyer in the city, and number two, who's going to deal with billions of dollars of financing. You can say you don't care about politics. It definitely cares about you.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed on primary day, because I always vote early just to get out the way, so I won't, because the way my schedule is, like, I'm like, oh, I gotta make sure. Yeah. So I made sure I voted early, but it was so many of my friends just on Facebook sharing, look, I've been here working the polls and I haven't seen nobody. I haven't seen anybody in the past like 5-6 hours, and it's frustrating. But at the end of the day, I guess the business owner in me is like, okay, what are ways you're getting getting in front of folks' faces saying, hey, look, this is going on? Because sometimes I do think it could be lack of and I hate to say like promoting it like it's you promote, but I mean, but lack of giving it exposure to share with the community. I see a lot on our local news, through our phone, social media, but it's very difficult to continue to build that. But I am seeing an increase. I see a lot of young people. My niece, who's I think she'll be entering her senior year at Howard. Likewise, my nephew is a senior, entering his senior year in at ODU. I'm hearing them speak a lot about what's going on a national level. So I'm like, okay, they're talking about politics, but what about what's going on in your local communities? Because obviously, what goes on in your backyard is more important, because that's front and center. That's more likely to happen, from what you're hearing on the federal side. So I wanted to ask that question because, as I mentioned in the beginning, it could be somewhat foreign seeing young elected officials, and that's that kind of walks me into the next convo. We're living in a moment where it's like folks are voting for elected officials based on age, not with policy, but based on age. And it's what has been if you wouldn't mind, like, what's your take on that? Because I understand that you have folks that have been in office for quite some time. And look, last time I checked, if you are, seniority shows that, hey, you have the most knowledge because you've been in this position for quite a while. But I do understand having, fresh new eyes, fresh new ideas. Everything changes, every single day when it comes to certain things. So I understand okay, let's move the torch to someone that is new at this position. Would you want to say anything in regards to that, Mr. Mayor?
No, of course. I think across the country, what I've seen is that you see politicians that don't want to give it up. And what I would remind everyone is that it's not that individual's seat, it's the people's seat, right? It's the people's house. That's how I would look at it. I'm a firm believer in term limits. I'm not going to be mayor forever, right? Because I think every generation should have the ability to shape the world how they deem it. And I personally think in 50 years, they're going to look back on this time, and I think they're going to mock us, quite honestly. But I just want to make sure that when it's our generation's turn to lead, that we're ready. So what I would tell everyone is, as the vice mayor of Newport News says, he says, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Hey, shout out to the vice mayor, by the way. Another real cool dude. See, that's the thing, man. See, Newport News, y'all really got it going on. I'm just saying. Shout out to Vice Mayor
Curtis
Bethany. Yes, Curtis Bethany. Awesome dude. And I'm glad. I love that answer because, look, I've been very zero sugarcoating with that conversation, with that topic on the show. But again, you, sir, which, by the way, y'all, this is history in the making. I'm pretty sure Mayor Jones is the first sitting mayor on the Arrington Gavin show. So let's just make some noise for that. Out of episode like 360 something, you are the first. So definitely, again, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule coming here on the show. But I wanted to speak on that is because it's been a bit frustrating. I know we've seen issues happening in the DNC with new elected officials that are saying, hey, look, without saying we need to take kind of remove some of the longer serving officials. I'm here to say we got to take them out. I won't say take them out, but we have to look for the replacements now. We can't have these folks in this position forever. I mean, look, I'm not going to say any names, but I've seen folks in at least in my city, in Congress, that has been there for a long time. And I'm just like, okay, any vacation time? Do you have like any, don't you want to do something after that? Yeah. I go back to not feeling it's not relatable to voters. And it's like, okay, if we see the same name, all right, whatever. We already know what's going to happen.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, yes, sir.
So I think this has real life implications. So the Republicans passed in the House, what do they call it? The big, beautiful bill, right?
Oh, geez.
it passed by like what, 1 or 2 votes, whatever, in the House. If you look at it, the last 3 members of Congress that have died in office have been Democrats. If they had been alive, they would have blocked the bill. But if you die and let's say you're a Democratic member of Congress and you pass away in office, then the Republican governor of your state, so whether it's Virginia or Texas, they want to gap it for as long as possible, right? It's politics. So what we currently have in Virginia and in Texas, I think in Texas 18th, one of my friends running for Congress, that's been gapped for months, right? So it's more than just, we're not advocating to push everyone out. What we're saying is, like, if people keep passing away in office, then the other side is going to capitalize on that. And what I would say is this: if you look at the Republican, I know this is a bipartisan podcast, but if you look at the Republican new administration, the vice president of the United States is like 40, right? He's 40 years old. Yep. They have members of the cabinet that are, 39, 42. They're building a team for the next 3 decades, and we're building a team for the next 18 months. So that's what I would tell people.
So you must have been watching my show before, because this is exactly what, look, even though folks know I'm an independent, but I call shots on both. I call out both sides if I see an issue. So yes, going back to, on the Republican side of things, I feel as though certain moments when it comes to strategy, they have their stuff together. I think my frustration with the left is what's next, because there's a lot of issues happening within their own party. There's a lot of disconnect happening with their own party. And that's what's being publicized. And that's what folks are seeing. And that's what folks are like, okay, I'm a bit irritated, because how many times are we going to listen to, this long serving Democratic official announced, hey, I'm leaving the party. I mean, we did just witness Karine Jean-Pierre, who was the spokesperson for the Biden administration, announced, hey, I'm leaving the party. So it's like, what is going on? So another day for another convo, Mr. Mayor, on that. But you mentioned something. I hope I'm trying not to lose my train of thought. Oh yes, let's talk about elections. So we recently just had our primaries in the state of Virginia, and we now have our ticket. We have a very diverse ticket on both sides of the aisle. Now you have on the Democratic side, you have former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger. You have a state senator, and I'm excuse me if I'm mispronouncing the names, but I'm blanking on her name, but she is a yes, Hashmi, Senator Hashmi. She has won the primary, and then you also have Jay Jones, former state delegate, who is the nominee for Attorney General. Now on the Republican side, you have current Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears. You have on the Lieutenant Governor nominee. You have John Reed, who is a conservative talk radio host out of Richmond, and then you have the incumbent Jason Myers, Attorney General Jason Myers. What's your thoughts on this? On this election, on this race, this diversity, really on both sides of the aisle.
At first, I just want to say congratulations to all the winners of the primaries. 48 hours ago. Not only to the winners, but just those who came up just a little bit short. It's always hard to put yourself and your family out there. And one of my favorite poems is Teddy Roosevelt's Man in the Arena. It's about, it's not the critic who counts, but it's the man who's in the arena, or the woman. And so just shout out to them. I think on our side, I think on the Democratic side, you have a very unique ticket that's split Hampton Roads, Richmond, Henrico, maybe a little bit of Northern Virginia flavor. I think they're going to do an excellent job representing the party. I know we don't take guesses on this podcast, but I think the Democrats win by 9 or 10 points in November. And I think that it's probably mostly due to the federal fallout in Northern Virginia. That's a lot of federal workers. They are angry, they are hurt, and they'll make their voices heard in November. I can promise you that. My job as mayor is to support the entire ticket. Soon to be Governor Spanberger will be coming down to Newport News to end her bus tour next Saturday. Excited to host her and just show her what Newport News is.
Wow. Well, look, y'all heard it here, folks. So he said by 9 or 10. So I'm gonna
call it 10 points.
10 points. Okay. So I'm gonna put this down because I'm remembered it. I remember because I will be when it's election night. I'm everywhere on both on all sides of the water. One side, this side. So I'm gonna put down 10. No, I think it's very interesting because I had spoken about the issues happening on the Republican side of, in my opinion, they were trying to avoid diversity because they weren't too satisfied with their lieutenant governor nominee. Now, I thought that was a bit unfair. I'm not saying I'm rooting for him. As I mentioned, I am an independent. I have conservative values. I have liberal values. But I think everybody should be should be welcomed a fair shot. And I think it was more to it. And I share that on the program. I'm not going to really go back in there. But as when it comes to the Democratic ticket, it was so intense because for one, you had 6 candidates, all very qualified. Of course, we had State Senator Aaron Rouse, who represents all of Virginia Beach. Awesome dude, good friends with him and his wife, Councilwoman Jennifer Rouse. Then you had LeVar Stoney, former mayor of Richmond, which again, it's interesting. Even I thought so. They were the top 2 that folks say, oh, it's going to be one of those. It's going to be no one, but you just don't know when it comes to the voting.
They split the vote.
Oh my gosh.
If you look at the polls, what I tell everyone is, I think in this primary election, 53 or 54% of the primary voters were African American. They either one of them would have won big, and I love both those guys. So shout out to LeVar and Aaron. Both ran really great campaigns, have amazing campaign managers. What I would hope in the future is that we can just run one candidate and that person will win. And this is no disrespect to Senator Hashmi, but if it was one-on-one, either one of those guys would have won 40% of the vote. So just in the future, I just hope that as a people, we can just figure it out behind closed doors. But it is what it is.
I totally agree, Mr. Mayor. I know you have to get out, but I definitely just wanted to, to add on to that point, because I think, again, that's a big point of why a lot of Democratic voters get frustrated, because they look at it as like, okay, we have so many folks, running for this. Obviously, you must not all see eye to eye on like who should be in leadership. So somebody's not on one accord. You look on the right. Now you had at least one gentleman that opted out due to health. You had one gentleman that wasn't qualified. Then it leaves you with John Reed. So again, it's like, okay, it didn't take them long to find their nominees, and it's like, what's the deal? I mean, look at the governor's ticket. Abigail Spanberger was that one and only candidate that they said, hey, look, we're going to stand by her all the way. Mm-hmm. And so I just wish it would be more. What's the word I'm looking for? I wish there was more coming together. And I'm no, Democrat, but I would say I am rooting for them in this day and age right now, because the right's doing a lot of stuff that I can't.
It's crazy out here. It's wild out here.
It's wild out here in these streets, and and it's already hot. It's already blazing hot out here, so I can't take it. But Mr. Mayor, I truly want to thank you again for coming here on the show. Please don't be a stranger. What are ways, folks? I know we have some local listeners in the Hampton Roads area tuning into this. So how are ways folks can get in contact with you, or just want to stay up to speed of what's going on in the city of Newport News?
Well, one, I just want to say thank you for the time. I've been meaning to do this podcast for a long time, and I'm on like 10 podcasts in the next 4 weeks, and I was like, no, this is going to be the very first one. So
oh man, I had
to give respect to you. But it's Mayor Phillip Jones on most of the platforms. I'm an easy guy to get a hold of: Instagram, Facebook, Blueski, X, etc. But just what I would leave our viewers with is we need everyone to get into the arena, right? It's not just the elected people. Everyone has a voice and a role and responsibility. You determine what future you want for your kids, for your family, etc. So get out there, and I'll see you in the arena.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, look, again, I hope you will continue to, come here on the program. Any great things happening in the city of Newport News, please bring it here to the Arrington Gavin show. I follow on social media of all the awesome things the city is doing. And so, as I mentioned, thank you again, Mayor Jones. I will talk to you soon, of course, when it gets closer towards the general election, because it's going to be it's going to be a lot happening within this within these months. So again, I thank you, sir, and thank you for your service. Thank you for your service as a Marine, as well as an elected official, as a leader for the city of Newport News. So again, I thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. You take care. Ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed that great conversation with Mayor Phillip Jones. You see why he is such a fan favorite to so many, because again, he shares so much great information. When his questions being asked, he has that just very quick, and he's honest, y'all. He's honest. And that's the thing that of that we're missing in our I wouldn't say in our society. Well, yeah, in our political environment, right? We're missing that accountability. I can't even say the word accountability. We're missing that. We're missing that that very being relatable to folks, right? How many times do we come across politicians that throw out all these promises? Hey, you get a promise, you'll get a promise, you'll get a promise, you'll get a promise. And then after their 13th term, not a nay one of them damn promises have been met. And so we come to the conclusion why it's so important to have term limits, because, and not even just that, but y'all, we have to be involved. We have to keep our elected officials accountable. We have to keep their foot to the fire. We cannot just say, okay, look, we voted for them, now let's forget it, let's not pay attention. No, we cannot do that. We cannot do that. You have to keep eyes. You have to have that eagle vision, that hawk vision. You gotta lock eyes on everything that is being passed, everything that they put on the table. Because guess what? That is going to affect your way of living. That's going to affect your way of living. I'm not lying. I was telling the truth. I have come across so many folks, some that are family friends, some that are just people that I just meet randomly. They are hurting. They are scared to go to work because guess what? They don't know if they even have a job. They're like, okay, look, I'm always scared to look at my emails because I don't know if I'm going to get laid off or whatnot. Literally, we had a family friend that told us that he was let go, and after 30 years, he was let go with no severance pay. 30 years, no severance pay. Are you kidding me? Where's the loyalty at? Oh, I forgot. That was long gone. Y'all, what is going on in our time right now? What is happening? We're literally seeing in front of our eyes in Washington of a struggling and depleting administration. We see all of those die-hard supporters of you know who in Washington having issues. They're his number one critics now because they're like saying, okay, this is not what you promised. This is not what you. Since when does he ever meet his promises? That's in my mind. I'm like, okay, something's not right here. Like, it's interesting. Candace Owens is a person that I truly I don't agree with majority of the time, but she has been a long critic of the president. She's been a long critic of the president. And first of all, and this is my honest opinion, I think now that she realizes her longtime employer is they no longer need her, she's like, okay, now I can't just make money off the right. Now I gotta swing some revenue on the left, huh? Like, I mean, I'm tired of whole back and forth. I'm tired of whole switching over that crap. Like, look, she's successful. She built an empire based on her voice, her opinions, her thoughts. When it comes to investigating, she can be pretty solid. I will say she can be pretty solid, but it's her. It's freaking Shapiro. It's a gentleman by the name of, I think, is it David Smith, who was a long-standing Trump supporter. I mean, he's talking about impeachment. Like, good gracious, where is that coming from, y'all? Where is that coming from? Got to do better. Look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, my friends. When we come back, I want to have a few more thoughts on the upcoming general election now that we have a ticket, at least in the state of Virginia. I know I'm going to discuss other races happening across the 50 states we have going on, but I would like to talk about this one because being so close to the Capitol is a national recognized race happening. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
Jazera Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at JazeranLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
What is happening, y'all? What is happening? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm looking at my time here. I would like to let me go ahead and share you this real quick before we end this conversation. As I was speaking with Mayor Phillip Jones, which I want to thank him again for joining me here on the program. Again, all around just solid dude, just solid dude. This is your ticket for the who will be representing on the Democratic side for the state of Virginia. So it has been announced that the 2025 Virginia Democratic nominees, Governor Abigail Spanberger, who's a former congresswoman, Virginia congresswoman. You also have on the lieutenant governor ticket, Gazella Hashmi, and then you also have who is Hashmi is a sitting state senator, and then you have former state delegate Jay Jones, who is the nominee for Attorney General for the state of Virginia. Now on the right, on the right, we have, let me see here if I can bring this up for you all to see. It's funny because everybody, I'm always intrigued on how political parties have their social media. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But on the right, we have Winsome Earl Sears. Okay, Winsome Earl Sears. You have conservative radio talk show host John Reed, which, I mean, I wonder if the Republican Party is on good terms after the issues. I'm curious if they're on one accord. Maybe not. And then you have incumbent Attorney General Jason Myers. And the interesting thing is, and I had a conversation with a buddy of mine who's a former elected official, and obviously he had voted for his candidate did not win on the Democratic side. And the thing was that he brought up was, will the city, would a predominantly white state, possibly even male driven, would they be interested in a ticket like this? Right. We have on the highest position, the governor's race, you have two women, white woman and a black woman. Then you move it on down. You have you have, and give me 1 second as I Let's see here. You have a Indian-born American politician, and then on the other side you have an openly gay male. And me personally, I love the diversity. It's growth. That's what our world is. That right there is America. Right there. That is America. But does the majority think so? Right? How many times have we said we were ready? It was time for a women president. It was time. It was time. Obviously, it was in a bad space with the recent candidate, but it was time. So, what happens from there? Where do we go from here, y'all? All I can say is that, folks, you need to vote. You need to vote. Get out there and vote, because as I spoke with the mayor earlier, there was a very, very low turnout. There was a very low voting turnout in the during the primaries. I've driven around in different precincts. There was nobody there. All these signs, people waiting outside in the heat, nobody walking, nobody coming by. Look, and I get it, right? It's early vote. It's early. It's primary season. Most folks come out for the general because they know officially this is my only chance to vote. This is my only chance to vote. But you got it. You have to get out there. And look, the primary is just as important as the general. It is. It truly is. It is just as important as the general. But see, not a lot of folks want to believe that. And I don't know why. Because everybody think they know everything. But at the end of the day, you need to get out there, vote. Early voting, my friends, begins September 19th. September 19th, at least in the state of Virginia. At least in the state of Virginia, early voting starts September 19th. Election day is November 4th. I will repeat that. Let's see here. Now, obviously, in different states have different periods when you start early voting, but the final day is November 4th. Get out there and vote. If you see something that is of issue in your eyes, look, your voice is your vote. So you just watching it, complaining, bickering, this and that, that's not going to do crap. All right, that's not going to do crap. Get out there, vote. Get out there and vote. All right. All right, my friends. The time has come to say goodbye. Well, actually, it's not goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Look, my friends, y'all take care. Stay blessed. Stay safe out there. I hope you enjoyed this conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Again, I want to thank Mayor Phillip Jones, Newport News, mayor of the city of Newport News, Virginia, for coming on the show. I hope to bring on more mayors. As I mentioned, that was history being made right there. He was our first mayor, y'all. He was our first sitting mayor. So, yes, we want to continue to have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace and blessings. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.